Sir David the Bard coming to you out of Sharon, Vermont, place where Joseph Smith, the pedophile, was born. They kicked him out of here too. Little buildings here and a little few things Mormons have set up to pretend that you know, he's an important person. But anyway, I'm hiding in the restroom because I can do my videos in here, and there's nobody in Vermont. You know, I have a story. I get off on shit because I didn't take my meds today. Screw the meds. Anyway, I had a friend, and we used to fly a lot. He had an airplane. I had a couple of friends, too, that were drug addicts. They used to fly a lot, but I never flew with them. Bruce. He's a good friend of mine. I lived in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, and he had an old Tri-Pacer. It was a plane made out of cloth. It was cloth. It wasn't aluminum. We used to fly all over the place, and I was young, probably 28. Had a family, but I didn't know any better because I loved to fly. And we were flying over Vermont here one evening, and Bruce is a funny dude. He is a funny dude. He was flying his plane by himself, and the prop fell off while he was flying. This guy has a sign on him that says disaster, and he landed on the Massachusetts Turnpike. Now let me tell you, planes don't go very far without a prop. They need to be pulled through the air to give some lift to the wings. Well, I'm glad I wasn't with him that night. But I was with him on the other night. We decided to go to this little, what they call a fixed base operation, where it's just a little airport owned by Mom and Pa. And he looked at the map and he said, "Bard, the runway's way too short, but I'm going to land anyway." That didn't surprise me. I've flown with Bruce a lot. So, said, "Now, when the wheels touch down, you open your damn passenger door and hold your feet against it and use it as a windbreak." I go, "Sounds right to me." I'm stupid. I'm 28. So we landed, and sure enough, I opened the door, and here's a 70-mile-an-hour wind coming in, and I got my foot on the door, and the wind is blowing the papers and the maps everywhere, and we ran off the end of the runway in the grass, and he says, "That was a good landing." And he said, "Any landing that you walk away from is a good one." I said, okay. So I flew one other time with him. He says, "You want to land in a cornfield?" Hell, I'm 28, and I'm wearing garments. Do it! He said, okay. So we landed in this cornfield, but we couldn't see from above that it was mud. Well, the little area that we landed in was all mud, and our wheels kind of bogged down into the mud. I said, "How are we going to get out of here?" And he said, "Well, I have a few tricks up my sleeve. And one of them is you're going to throw all your shit off the airplane to make it lighter. So my tools, all my clothes, lunch baskets, everything that was mine, I threw into the cornfield." He said, "Well, I think that's going to do it." And I said, "I hope so. This is an expensive plane ride." And so we pushed the plane back into the tail of the plane back into the corn so we could get an extra 10 feet. And sure enough, we got in, and I thought I was going to be the next thing to be thrown out there, but we took off, and oh my God, the plane the wheels are slow, and I can see the cornfield coming right up to us. I'm going to go, we're into the corn, and we're down on the ground. And at the very last minute, it had, what do you call them? Ailerons? Anyway, at the very last minute, he pulled up the flaps by hand, and the plane just jumped in the air and just quivered and hovered, and I'm looking, and the corn stalks are just going by so slow, but at least we're in the air. So anyway, got out of that. Well, anyway, up here in Sharon, Vermont, we were flying up here in Vermont. Now let me tell you something. When you get into Maine and Vermont, there's no place to land. A Kmart parking lot, yes, a Walmart, yes, but there's mountains and there's big rocks and everything. You can't land anywhere in Vermont except at an airport. So we're flying at night, and the plane is old. I mean, the plane is older than I am. So anyway, we're going into this field. We're going to land in a field, an airfield, a regular airport. but it was a fixed base operator. Mom and Dad own the airport, so they need to turn on the damn lights. We can't see where the airport is. So this airport, the microphone on the plane, if you dial the number in just right and then hit the microphone 3 times, the lights come on to the airport. So you can land. They stay on a half an hour or something, so you can land. So we're circling around, and we think we're pretty close to the airport, so Bruce picks up the microphone, and he clicks it 3 times, and it falls into 1,000 pieces on the floor of the airplane at night. Now, the only light we had in that airplane was red. We were male prostitutes flying at 10,000 feet. And I go, holy shit! We don't have enough fuel to go back to find an airfield, and we can't get the lights to click onto this one because the mic is on the floor in 1,000,000 pieces. He goes, that ain't a problem. Just take the wheel and circle. Well, I wanted to circle inside the airplane. I was so upset. No, it's no problem. I'll put the mic back together. It's almost black. It's intricate microphone inside the microphone. So I'm circling around, and I'm saying to myself, in those days I believed in God. I pulled my garments up like this. I go, holy shit, I'm flying. I'm okay. Nothing can happen to me. It won't cut my head off. So anyway, he does get the microphone fixed. And we did get the lights turned on, almost out of gas, and landed. Well, I'll tell you one more. So I finally turned 29, and when I turned 29, I got to thinking Bruce might not be the safest pilot in the world. So we were landing in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, and the fog was everywhere. You couldn't see shit anywhere. And so this is his home airport, so he thinks he has ESP, that he can see the runway. So we were coming in, and I said, well, where is the runway? He says, I don't know, but I can see Kmart lights over there, and the airport is this way from Kmart. And that's how you're going to find the landing strip? Well, yeah. Well, we come out of the fog. Came out of the fog. The landing strip was going one way, and we were going the other way. He pulled up like a jet pilot in this old fabric plane before we hit the ground. I said, Bruce, let me put some input in here. Let's go to Albany. Let's just fly over to Albany. There's no fog over there. No. I'll get it. I go, Jesus Christ. Why am I flying? I'm so desperate to learn how to fly. I'll fly with anybody, even Kevorkian. So we tried it a second time with the same result. Weren't even near the airfield. We were over the house of the owner of the airfield. So, okay, he said, one more time. I think I recognize the trees. I go, shit. Whoever heard of a pilot navigating by trees? We came out of the trees, and sure enough, that runway was right in front of us. He said, we got it. Well, he slammed that plane down on the runway, but it was all ice. We had no idea that it was ice. And again, we're going, I forget what the landing speed on that is, probably 70 miles an hour. And we're on pure ice, and you can't even slow down. And so we just ran down the runway on ice and went into a snowbank, and the tail of the plane came up. I could hardly get out my door, and I was 10 feet up off the runway. And I said, Bruce, this is my last flight. I hate to tell you. I know, you don't charge me much. But the flights aren't much either, so I quit flying with Bruce. Anyway, that got me off on Sharon, Vermont, and my experiences up there. Now, what the hell was I going to really talk about? Hell, I don't remember. And you know what? I don't give a shit. You're just looking at a stupid dementia, old man. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Okay. Why was I up in... Oh, I said I was in Vermont. Oh, I do remember. See, if you wait long enough, old people will finally come alive. There is an article here, and let me tell you where it's from. I'm reading out of Yahoo News here, and it's, I don't know what date it is. It's been around for a couple days, but the title is, New York Police, 70-foot long mobile home stolen from lot. Now, I was just going to give my opinion on this one, okay? I don't want to get off on I lived in trailers and mobile homes for years and years. I know a lot about, double wides and foundations for manufactured and putting them down and screwing them down, and single wides and 10-foot wide, 12-foot wide, 14 double wides and wide. And that's my last white genie. Wide. Anyway, let me tell you what happened here, okay? Police in the rural upstate New York. I'm going up there next week to upstate New York, Finger Lakes area. One of the most beautiful places in the world. If you ever get to go to the Finger Lake region of upstate New York, it's like you've gone to the terrestrial kingdom. It's not celestial. There's no Mormons there. Police in rural upstate New York town are looking for a 70-foot long mobile home that was stolen from a diner's parking lot. And now wait a minute, folks. I have some mobile home experience, okay? First of all, 70-foot long is as long as they make them. That's the legal limit on most highways in most states. And it could be half of a double wide, or it could be a single wide that's 14 feet, 70 feet long. Now, let me tell you something. This is not like a Coleman cooler that you could hide anywhere with wheels on it. 70 feet long is 3 or 4 bedroom mobile home, and it's made to go 70 miles an hour along the road. The roof won't even rip off. They're well built that way. Now, when you steal one of these things, first of all, you have to have a permit to move that son of a bitch on any road. And up there in upstate New York, there's no freeways up there. That's all 2-lane highway up there. So you don't even have, if you've got 14 feet and you've got a 20-foot lane, you've only got 2 or 3 feet on both sides. You better be right down the middle with that thing. Well, the thing weighs tons and tons. So you can't back a pickup truck up to it and steal it. You've got to back up one of those great big huge 18-wheel tractor trailers with the big mirrors on them. And then you got to be able to get onto the hitch and get a hold of that thing, hook up the air brakes, because that son of a bitch will push you over a mountain in a second. You got to have air brakes to be able to have it help slow itself down. And you have to have a great big wide orange sticker on the back that says wide load. And in most states, you have to have a police car in front, or what they call it, a tag car, I forget what they call it, and one in the back with the yellow lights and saying to people, holy shit, we're out of our mind, here we come, get the hell off the road. Now, to steal this son of a bitch even at night, you got to be a genius. This has got to be Joseph Smith looking for a new home for another 14-year-old. This guy's desperate. Now, let me tell you something. I know this shit. I've pulled mobile homes. I've lived in them. You can't pull over to the side of the road and take a piss with a mobile home attached, okay? There's hardly anywhere you can pull over with a mobile home, because it's 70 feet and the tractor trailer is at least 10. So you've got 80 to 100 feet of rig. And you got the guy in the walkie-talkie on the flag car in the front going, are you guys all right? I'm asleep. I don't see you anymore, because the thing fell off the cliff. Now, where do you hide a stolen mobile home? I guess a mobile home park. There's not very many of them in the East. You can put a mobile home on land in the East in many states. So anyway, I just wanted to give the New York police a heads up that that's a pretty big unit to hide. You can't just hide it under a tree. You had to have a permit to pull it with, or the police would pull it over. You can't pull the son of a bitch at night. I don't think any state allows those to be pulled at night. You got to have a flag car and or another flag car, police car behind it. It's a pretty big operation. How? No one saw this? There's no witnesses? Ethel! Hellfire! Look, there's a home going by us, and it's running us off the road. Did you see anything? No, we didn't see anything. You didn't see a mobile home coming down? No, we didn't see a thing. Now, gangbangers, they don't steal mobile homes. They got to get out of town fast. You can't go more than 60, 70 miles, well, 60 maybe, with a 70-foot load. Oh, my gosh, and it'll take you half a mile to stop the damn thing. So anyway, I think it's funny that the New York police can't find a stolen 70-foot mobile home, and they're still looking for it. So if they need help, give the BART a call. I've never given my number out over the phone or over the video ever, but I just want you to know I'm not going to do it now either. Don't call me. Don't call me.